Michael.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Ah.
My name is Phương Anh.
Nice to
and
meet
today
you.
I have some question about learning English.
Absolutely.
Yes. And first question is why has English become more popular around the world?
Well, English has become quite a popular language for two reasons. Firstly, it's spoken in so many different countries, in America, Canada, England, Australia. And also it became quite popular after World War II, as all of those countries were English-speaking countries. But in modern days, it's been taught as the language of business and medicine, so it's become quite popular in those fields. But more and more, it's becoming popular in education. Students are being educated in English, and also tourism. Because so many people speak English, whenever they travel to a different country, they always communicate with people at the hotels and restaurants in English.
So, which field that people need to speak English well?
Well, it depends. I would say that if you're doing business internationally, then business, absolutely. Medicine as well. You need, because many of the medical texts that you study are in English as well. And if a doctor or a nurse attends a medical conference, it's usually in English. So I would say business and medicine, and also aviation, flying, because that's also a language that's used very widely, and also in tourism. Tourism, as we said previously, has a lot of people communicating in English. So I would say English is important for all fields, but particularly for those four.
So, which factor that people need to focus on when they start learning English? So, I'm Vietnamese. So, what are the advantages and disadvantages of Vietnamese when they learn English?
Well, being Vietnamese, with the Vietnamese language, you have some advantages and some disadvantages. The advantages are that you have the Romanized alphabet. So not like Japanese kanji or Korean hangul. So when you start writing in English or reading in English, you don't have to learn a new alphabet. Another advantage that the Vietnamese speakers have is that the grammar systems of English and Vietnamese they're different, but they're not incredibly different. So there are other languages like French or Japanese where the grammar systems are far more complex and very different from Vietnamese and English. And Vietnamese and English are similar in many ways. Some of the disadvantages that Vietnamese speakers of English have are pronunciation. Many of the sounds that are used in English are difficult for Vietnamese speakers to say, to pronounce. And another disadvantage that many Vietnamese speakers have is the timing of the language. Because Vietnamese is a tonal language, but English is a stress-timed language. So developing an ability with the stress timing takes quite a lot of practice, but that's not a huge issue for being able to speak English effectively. That's a small issue.
Yes. So I have a question about vocabulary. So what is the best way to learn vocabulary?
Well, the ideas for learning vocabulary have changed over the years, and there has been a lot of research put in to how languages and vocabulary are learned. It used to be 20, 30 years ago, and I'm sure that when you were learning English, you probably had to memorize a lot of vocabulary. But modern research and modern teaching shows that this really isn't very effective, because students really only remember about 10 to 15% of all of the words that they memorize. The only way to really learn vocabulary is to learn no more than 10 or 15 words at one time, and then immediately use those words in speaking and in writing. Because research suggests that you need to use a word between 30 and 100 times before it's a part of your vocabulary. and where you can use it naturally. So really the best way to focus on vocabulary is don't overdo it. Don't learn too much. Maybe if you're doing, if you're studying and you have one lesson, learn 10 or 15 new words, and then immediately start to use that in writing. Remember it. Try using it when you speak English. So by doing that, you'll be practicing it, and it will be processing in your brain, and it will eventually become a part of your natural vocabulary.
Yeah, I see. So what is the difference between proficiency and fluency?
Fluency means that you have an ability with the language, so it doesn't matter if you speak it perfectly, but you say you're an intermediate speaker of English, and you have very good grammar and vocabulary for an intermediate speaker, and you're able to use what you know fluently and confidently. That means that you have fluency. Proficiency means that you have a higher level of understanding of English grammar systems and vocabulary and idioms and morphemes and how it all works. So if you have a high level of proficiency, it means that not only do you speak and listen at a very high level, but you're also able to pronounce very clearly, and you're also able to write a wide array of texts, you know, academic and business texts, with a high level of accuracy. So most people, unless you're working in academics or in business, you really don't need to develop a high level of proficiency. People, for everyday use, really ought to just focus on fluency, because most of what we do is we speak.
Yes. So how important is pronunciation?
Well, that's a mixed question. Pronunciation is important as long as you are understood. Yeah. So if you can speak to other people in a different language and you're understood, then your pronunciation is good. That's fine. But if someone's pronunciation makes it difficult to understand them, then pronunciation is quite important and needs to be improved a bit. There's a big difference between pronunciation and accent. Pronunciation means that you're able to speak and pronounce words clearly to make yourself understood. Accent means that you want to sound American or British or Australian. People really shouldn't focus on accent, because there are so many different accents in English. As long as you can speak clearly and make yourself understood, that's really all that matters, because at the end of the day, we're all speaking the same language and we understand each other. That's what's important.
So how about grammar? Is it very important?
Again, a mixed question, yes and no. For communicative purposes, grammar is not really that important. As long as you are putting the words in the right place and you're saying the words correctly so that people can understand your meaning, then it's not so important. However, in certain fields, like if you're going to study at a university in England, for example, and you'll be writing a lot of texts, and you need to speak with a higher level of accuracy, then the focus on grammar becomes a little bit more important. But for communicative purposes, for speaking and listening, grammar really isn't all that important. As long as you're making yourself understood, that's what's important.
So would you tell me how to improve grammar?
The best way to improve grammar, again, it's a lot like vocabulary. Don't try studying 20 grammar structures at one time.
Yes.
That's too much for your brain to process. So you should focus, in one lesson, you should focus on maybe 2 or 3 grammar structures, and then immediately start to use it. Remember the structure, how it's used, and use it in your speaking, in your communication, in your writing as soon as possible. And once you start using it, continue to use it. And also try to go back and revisit some of those grammar points that you studied in the past, because some of them are not used so often. So it's a good idea to go back and review, and then you go, aha, I remember when I could have used this. And then by exposing your brain to it and using it, you will naturally begin to use it.
Yes. So, can you introduce something about Wall Street English?
Wall Street English is a language school that has a very unique learning system that has been proven very effective, 97% success rate. Wall Street is a global brand by Pearson Education, and they have schools in 28 different countries and have helped more than 2 million people learn to speak English.
So I think today I have some very useful information from you, and thank you very much.
My pleasure.
We are changing. We are changing our identity to become one global brand, Wall Street English. We have decided to change to anticipate the future, providing new inputs, new experiences and innovative tools, but with the same proven learning method that draws on the experience and strength of more than 40 years of learning success. One unique name: Wall Street English. Our new name reflects what we do. We teach English. Our mission is to help our students succeed and fulfill their dreams by learning English. One unique logo. It is a speech bubble, but it is also a door opening. It is an aspirational image dedicated to all the people who are always reaching for new horizons in their future. A connected global world is the drive for this change. Because English is the world's global language, it has the great power to connect people all over the world, no matter how far away or how different they are from each other. Wherever you live or want to go, English is the language that can help you get there. What are you waiting for? With Wall Street English, you can walk through the door and change your future.